Oh. Because we can't have music on YouTube. Get copyrighted.
There's salsa in the fridge. I just made it though.
Hello, hello, hello. Nobody in here yet. Oh, hello, Teresa. I'll probably, once it gets started, I'll probably walk out there on the trail.
Right ahead.
Oh, hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? We are here. Doing good. I finished the Sawmill shed and just posted a video on YouTube about that. And then I went out in the woods and I will take you out there and show you the trail. I definitely gotta get my handy dandy hood. So because of the alders out here, sorry, my boot is messed up. There's something in my boot. Sorry, gotta take my boot off. Hello. So I came out after I finished with the sawmill. And because these alders are so thick, it takes a good bit of snow to, I gotta get my hood on, to compact them down. So if we haven't gotten a huge amount of snow by the time the lake freezes, we wouldn't be able to get in or out. I can go the way of the like going down to the lake, but Letitia cannot get up and down that hill with her snow machine. I can get up and down it, but I mean it's wheeling all the way up. So I came out here today. I spent 30 minutes and started cutting a trail. Don't cut the trees blocking the view of the lake. No, not yet. I'm just cutting the trail in. You know, I really hope I don't see a bear. I don't have my protection with me. And it actually, this is where I stopped, and there is actually a trail that goes through there. It looks like a bear trail, like they've been coming across and then heading down across the lake. But there's, over on the other end of our property, it's a lot less of a hill to get down to the lake. So I'm cutting this trail so that as soon as we get snowfall, I can get through with the snow machine. Right now I'm just trying to get over to where I would have my trail, and then I clean it up and make it a lot better. But in about 30-35 minutes, I cut about 300 feet of trail. So that's not too bad. There's the lake. This area right here is still pretty steep. I think it's probably maybe another 200 feet to where I think I'll be able to go down to the shallow hill, the less steep hill. But it was time for the live, so, and I ran out of gas and the chainsaw. So, but I wanted to make sure that as soon as it starts snowing, we can get in and out of here before the snow gets real deep and pushes all these down. Because every bit of this will be under snow. These alders just lay down when the snow hits them, but it takes a good bit. Get back out of here before a bear does show up. That wouldn't be good because there's too many limbs. I can't run. And those bears can move through these alders like it ain't nothing. I'm back. So my tractor is sunk again. I got it stuck. Was it yesterday or the other day? Can't remember. But it is so muddy over there, it just sunk. So the weather says we've got 4 or 5 days of no rain. So I'm gonna let it dry up a little bit for about 2 or 3 days, and then I go out there and try to get the tractor unstuck. Look how calm that lake is. Looks like a mirror. You see the reflection of the clouds. Flooding in Haywood. It's in the 50s. The low this morning, I think, was 41. No, I hadn't tried nothing yet, Don. It was raining. I hauled some limbs over, and I got over there, no problems. Didn't even spin a tire. And then I was backing out, and it slid sideways, and it sunk. Use the Argo, to pull the tractor out? It won't work. I've tried. Not this time, but I have tried in the past. But I am getting my list checked off quick. I had 30 items on there. And I've only got 13 left. And the next big thing is to build the shed off of each side of this barn. I finished the sawmill. Well, I haven't built the door or the back door, and I haven't done the trim, but I have to mill up some more lumber. And I've only got 2 logs left, and I need to mill lumber for the sheds going off the barn. So I want to make sure I got enough lumber to do that. I'll put a tarp over the door this winter, unless I have extra lumber that I can mill up. Do you ever count your steps? No. There ain't no telling how many. Yeah, that lake is a beautiful view. Now the leaves are falling, you can see a lot more of it. And then, like I said, I'm gonna get down there and clear out all of that undergrowth this way and all of that undergrowth over there. I'm actually probably going to do some of that tomorrow because I need the small saplings. I need some about 2 inches around. I'm going to take them, and over at the fruit trees, I'm going to build a teepee over each of the fruit trees and wrap it in plastic to help it this winter to keep from dying. Hold in a little bit of heat. I'm going to throw some straw around it and see how that does. At least 1 billion. Yeah, ain't no telling. I guarantee you, just from the house up to the shop or the sawmill, I guarantee you I've done made like 15, 20 trips today just on that, going back and forth. So yeah, I still got to build the 2 sheds off the barn, and then I've got to that white shelter logic up there. I'm going to move it. I got to look at the ground. If I can, I'm going to put it behind the barn and like butt it up to the barn. But I got to finish getting it cleaned out, which is almost cleaned out. And then I got to do all my maintenance. I'm going to change the oil and all on the tractor, snow machines, Argo, sawmill, generators, everything. I still got to get this boat put up. I drug it up here in the yard, but I got to figure out where I'm going to put it. I put the little one under the shop, but the big one won't fit. No, I'm hoping it don't collapse the greenhouse. I just come out and keep the snow knocked off of it every time it snows. And let me tell you, that thing right there brings in power. This is the first that the sun's even been shining, and that's not even shining, it's behind clouds. See, it's very cloudy. But even with no sun, it pulls in the power. See, I gotta take the trampoline down. I gotta get that satellite dish up. I gotta do a little bit of painting. Like I said, I'm gonna make the teepees over the fruit trees. I've already redone plumbing lines. What else is on my list? I gotta cut that trail all the way out. I wish I had the solar array. What do you think? Oh, the cost panels and all. So we bought a kit, and with 18 panels, the charge controller, the batteries, the inverter, the wiring, it came with everything. The only thing it did not come with was bus bar. It didn't come with bus bars to hook everything together. I had to order those, but it was about $14,000 for everything. And then of course I had to build that array. And it cost more than it should have because I was using lumber. I was going to build a different array and it didn't work out, so I had to tear it apart, and the lumber that I had bought was 10 foot and I needed 8 foot for a lot of this. So, but I have been, I saved all of my scraps and I've been using them. This is the only scrap that I have left from it. Anything more than a foot long I saved, and I've been using it on other stuff. So yeah, we got 18 panels. Since you don't have straw, put pine goes around the base of the trees. I do have straw. I brought straw out for the chickens. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 bales left. And it's time to put more in the chicken coop anyhow, so when I do that, I'm just gonna put some around the trees and then wrap them in plastic. How are the bugs? Dying off yet? Does this tell you? No. They're bad. I had to get my hood, go out into the woods when I was up there doing the sawmill. The bugs were real bad up there. Oh, you got 26 panels? Oh, that's good. I've got 3 more. They're different panels than these. They're about the same size, but they're only 375 watt. These are 425 watt panels. And then I've got 5 small 100 watt panels. I'm going to put the small ones on the chicken coop, and I'm going to put the other 3 big ones up on the shop just for power and stuff. I've got an inverter and all for the chicken coop. I just don't have charge controllers for either one. Yeah, that shed, I'll walk up here. The little sawmill shed, that's where I store the sawmill. I actually walked up there earlier and I pushed it out. I'm glad you said something because I would have left it out. I gotta get my tractor running so I can get all of these cutoffs cleaned up and cut up into firewood pieces. Gotta get up here and clean up all. But yeah. And I ran out of 1x4 or 1x's that I had milled up. I ran out. So I took some cut off, some log pieces to close this side up. But yeah. So this, it'll set inside. And you can see it sets fully inside. I'm going to build double doors there. And then I'm going to build a single door right here. This door was not originally going to be here. But if I am going to do a full length log, I have to have the sawmill all the way back. And you can see how close it is. So when I go to stand here to operate it, my booty kind of sticks outside, so I had to cut a door in. I've already taken the dock out. I took the dock out a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. Right after she got back, I think like the third day she was here. Too much chicken poo will kill the trees. Yeah, well, I don't have the chicken poop on the trees. I'm just going to put straw around them. But I have to mill up more lumber to make my doors. So this year, I'm probably just going to put a tarp over the front and over that back door just to keep the snow out of it. And then this can just stay exposed. And then, like I said, next summer, I want to build a shed over the entire thing, plus extend this out another 10 feet and extend the track. That way I can cut 26-foot logs. Do I have enough hours in the day left to do all that? I'll work into the dark. I'll go in, eat dinner, and I'll come back out and get back at it. I'll be out here with headlights. Probably won't today. I'm at a good stopping point because tomorrow I'm gonna get all this mess here cleaned up and get the grass cut and all there, and then I'm gonna start building the sheds. But I actually have to go out into the woods. Matter of fact, there's a standing dead there. I've got to go cut that down. And there's another one there. I've got to cut that down and haul those logs in for my post. Like the post here on the chicken coop to hold up the roof. And then there's another one over here. I've got to get out there and get those cut down tomorrow and haul them in. I set up for sawmill, thank you. What hauls the logs in? Me. I will go ahead and cut them to length. I'm going to need, I think, 14 footers, and I will put them on my shoulder and carry them in. through the woods because I can't get out there with anything because it's grown up just like over here where I showed y'all the trail. So, I mean, you see how thick and grown up everything is. So, I would have to cut a trail in there and then get my tractor out there to haul it in. And actually, I think that one there, I have a trail that goes back through there, and it's probably only maybe about 10 foot off the trail. So if I get the tractor unstuck, I can go back and get that one. And the one over there is about 20 feet off the trail. But then this one over here, I have to haul through the woods. Use snow machine so it no. Nope. The snow machine, it would get caked up with mud if I was to use it. And you don't want mud in there. Rubbing on those Hyfax, they burn them up. And then I'd be replacing those. Hey, baby.
Want to feel them? So soft.
Even if it's a heat compress, probably like a hot washcloth, it's not like dripping wet. Heating pad, anything like that you want to do heat for like 30 minutes afterwards. The heat will help it absorb into that muscle and help it. Okay? Let me know if you need anything.
She made some chips.
And lay on whatever side it's not affected.
Oh.
Across the board. Not flat on your back, but flat on your side.
So let's see. Let me look at my list here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got 2 more logs that I got to mill up. I got to move that shelter logic. I got to fix the snow machines and change all the oil, do all that stuff. Because I got to pull the tank off, put a new filter in, and and I'm putting heated hand grips on the back for Kira, a heated glove box on the front for my phone so I can use it like a GPS. It's got a clear screen. And then I've got the helmet. We've got the heated visor helmets. So I've got to do all the wiring on it for that. I have everything here. I just got to get it all on. I have a winch also, but I don't think I'm going to be able to mount it. I don't have the right bumper for it. I may build my own. I've got some scrap metal out there, so I may weld me up a bumper to mount the winch on. Let's see. I've got to cut that trail in. I got to run the water lines down to the lake for pumping water out. Build the sheds. Got to clean up everything in the yard before the snow hits. That way we don't find stuff next year, especially if it's something that I need. I got to build the hearth and put the wood stove in the shop. I've actually got it built. I'm waiting on the hearth to dry because I've done a adobe mud mixture and rock. And yeah, we can walk out there. And then the air or water cooled. Water cooled. Yep. Can the boat hang on the side of the shed wall? I was thinking about it when I build. The problem is that boat is heavy. I mean, I can't lift it. I mean, that thing's got to be, it was all I could do to drag it. It's an 18-foot John boat. I think it weighs almost 500 pounds. I mean, I can put it up there with the tractor. How do you keep the lines from freezing? Are you talking about what, water lines on the house? Is that what you're talking about? When we got here, there was no water lines run anywhere. So I took and ran plumbing through the entire house, but all the plumbing lines are inside, like hidden up in the corner of the ceiling, run like along the, I mean, like, here we go. If the shop here, if this was the house, the water lines are like run along the edge all the way around, and then I run them down and under to the sinks and stuff. Oh, the ones from the lake. So all I'm going to do, I've got this black pipe here, it's 1.25 inches. I'm going to run it from the top of the hill all the way down the hill, just on the slope part, and then I've got connections that I will put on here that I can connect the water hose to connect to the pump. And then at the top of the hill, I have a connection where I hook a water hose and run it to the house to fill our tank. And then as soon as it's done filling up, I will disconnect the water hoses, drain the hoses, bring them in and hang them up in the water room. And then that black pipe will be on such a steep angle, every bit of the water will just run out of it. But here's my fireplace. I bought this last winter from a guy out here that lived out here in the bush. He had bought a house that had fallen under with the snow load. Roof collapsed in, and he bought it off the guy and was going through and selling some stuff. So I bought this off of him, and you see it is still very, very muddy. You can't really see the rocks. There's rocks everywhere, but the mud, they're covered. So I've got to let that dry, and then I come in here and I clean the top of it off, clean the rock and everything else, set the fireplace up on there, and run the chimney up and out the roof. I've got this diesel heater. This is what I'm going to use in the chicken coop when it gets cold. But right now I'm going to set it up probably tomorrow or the next day in here and get it fired up to try to get this dry. Because when we do Sukkot, starting the 7th, you're supposed to stay in a temporary dwelling. We're going to come out here and sleep in the shop. So this is where we will sleep. And I've got to get that fireplace going. I've got a huge propane heater up there if it came down to it, but I don't want to waste the propane. So I just got to get this thing dry so I can set the fireplace on it. I've got everything to pop it out, I hope. I'm going to use the piping that was for my wood cook stove. So, and then there's my snow machine. This is some clothes that was here when we got here. And then I've got like different parts for the snow machine, some light bars and some other stuff. I've got to get all this stuff on a skid plate. And then, I mean, this little building will be cleaned out in no time. I mean, I figure it might take me about 2 hours to get everything out of there and get everything organized. Like I said, I wanted to put it back here on the back of the, here's my other 3 solar panels. Got these 3 here. Like I said, they're your buddy heater is sitting behind Kim's recliner. The one here. That one was the one that was here. We didn't know there was one here when we moved here, and I bought a brand new one. So that one is the one that had the broken handle and all. So I took it and I would leave it in my truck so that when I go to town, I would sleep in my truck with a sleeping bag. And if it got too cold, I would fire it up for just a few minutes to get it warm in there. You know, when you're sleeping in your truck and it's negative 30, 35 degrees. Why do we have to sleep in there? So in the Bible, it talks about the Feast of Sukkot, Feast of Tabernacles, Feast of Booths, whatever you want to call it. And it's for 8 days. The first day and the last day is a high holy day. But it tells you to, you basically leave your house and sleep in a temporary dwelling. Normally, like when we would do it with other people, we would always go camping, have this huge gathering. I mean, there would be hundreds of people there. It was insane. And it was like this big, massive camping trip. It was really cool. But yeah, you're supposed to sleep in a temporary dwelling. So that's why we're going to sleep in the barn. Oh, you fixed the handle? Oh, cool. Thanks. Yeah, they're actually calling for rain and snow mix. I think the 4th of October. Yeah, using it to keep warm. Hey, have at it. How long is it? How long is what? Son, Emily. Oh, the Sukkot is 8 days. Yep, it's 8 days. Ours starts October the 7th. Goes to the 15th. So, but that shop is kind of small. Oh, it's till the 14th?
7 to 14.
Okay, 7 to the 14th, sorry. So, yeah, the shop is kind of small, so it will definitely heat that thing up like it ain't nothing. And we have our Arctic sleeping bags, which they're rated up to negative 40 degrees. So that's the same thing that I use whenever I go to town in the winter. I keep with me on the snow machine in case I ever have a issue, or you know, when I'm sleeping in my truck. So I made some chips.
Made a lot. We can put them in a bag and have them for tomorrow too. There's more salsa in the fridge. We made a triple batch of tortillas today, so we got a ton of tortillas and a ton of chips.
Got baby oil? For what?
I don't know. You gonna have a ditty party?
Mm. Will you be able to go into the house during the day? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just says
It doesn't say that we cannot come in here to cook, shower, whatever. We're just supposed to eat and sleep in a temporary dwelling. So we will eat on the porch and sleep in the barn.
but we will cook and as much as we can
We will
outside.
try to as much as we can
And-
outside, yes, to keep the whole
And we'll stay outside as
You
much as
know,
possible.
atmosphere. Like for us, we get so caught up in our daily stuff that when we stop and we do like bonfires outside or we do the grill or whatever, we're more focused on being outside, which is the whole point of doing the feast days, is just coming out of your normal element and being more in the spiritual. And it's important with Kira too, that we do that with her.
Yeah, no, we like as weather allows. No, it don't say.
It doesn't say
I mean,
that.
We've had
There's no clause in the
several.
Bible.
We've done several Sukkots where it was pouring rain and freezing cold, and our stuff was soaking wet and
Yep.
flooded our tent. We was at the beach one year, and we got they had a flood. A hurricane came through, and
We laughed through it, and we
Flooded.
survived.
We had a
and
camper.
It wasn't the end of the world.
it flooded our pop-up camper.
It's not the end of the world. It still applies. There are no clause in
Mhm.
Scripture for if the weather allows or permits. There's none of that. So,
But yeah, we will do the lives.
hopefully out there with good old bonfire going. We really want Kira to understand the spiritual significance of the feast days too. So it's a good reminder for Richard and I to take this time. I mean, it's only twice a year and it's only for a few weeks out of the year all together. It's a really good time for us to remember that we need to be more spiritually minded, not fleshly.
Kids in Florida affected by the hurricane.
I talked to them yesterday and they're okay. They're on the opposite side of where it's going to hit, but they do have a plan if, power, water, all of that. But man, every hurricane season, I am reminded of extra prayer for my children. There's only one way in and one way out of Florida, so it's humbling. Thankfully, they're in Jacksonville, so they're on the other side of the coast where the hurricane is gonna hit. I mean, it's like a Category 4 as it hits landfall, so that's a pretty serious storm. A lot of people are gonna be affected by that, so. But as of
Mama, you look beautiful in that blue,
Thank
doesn't
you.
she?
Is that Kim? Only a few that call me mama.
Mm-mm.
No? Okay.
Neva?
Huh?
Neva?
Oh, thank you.
N-E-V-A? Yeah. Am I pronouncing that right? Neva Miller?
Dinner is pretty simple tonight. It's one of Kira's favorites. It's bagged in Spanish rice. I have not attempted to make it homemade yet, but I will. Just meat and cheese over top.
Oh, it's Kim.
It is Kim? Okay. I typically know who Richard's talking about when he calls me mama. We're one of the few. Like one of two.
It don't say Kim. Is that your middle name?
People are usually in disguise on one of the apps. Yep, I don't blame you.
I wonder why YouTube is so slow. I mean, do people? I mean, do they post the comments and then it takes forever for them to pop up, or they just don't?
YouTube's
Just
just more
many-
chill. Is our oh gosh, what are they called? A troll? Is our troll back that we love? Ew. I do not want to be in a message with him. Oh, my grandson's doing so good at school. I'm so proud of him, Asher. He's doing awesome. He is thriving. Asher's half the kindness tree. Oh, that's so sweet.
Do you want some? Because I'm not eating anymore, so I don't want to pour a ton in here if you're not going to eat any.
No, Asher's doing so good in school. And tonight was like an open house night, and Eli had to work late, and he wasn't going to be there, and Asher was so sad this morning, and Dad made it. So Asher's heart is happy that his dad is there. But I don't like being in a group chat with my ex-husband.
What's for dinner? Spanish rice.
I don't have any hard feelings. I just prefer not to say his name.
Here,
Did
you.
they say that you're only tied to your exes until your kids are 18? That's not true if they have grandkids.
You said him right.
I think so. You said Willow, right?
Okay.
So now we're on a whole nother 18 years until the next one. The next generation. Think very carefully of who you have children with. Be smart. Be wise. Choose good. Because it's forever. It's not till they're 18. It's not. And ladies, no matter how much you love them, you can't change them. It is for me because I've got grandkids involved. And it's different because it's a girl. I think boys might be a little not as...
But you don't have to deal with him dealing with her
Just
or dealing with grandkids.
don't even like to admit that we share grandkids. Especially when somebody's always more involved of raising other people's kids than their own. I'm still a little butthurt. If you guys don't have one of these, get one. It's amazing. We don't buy shredded cheese. We buy blocked cheese because the shredded cheese has all sorts of anticoagulant junk in it. It's super bad for you. But this thing is awesome. A little bit of a pain to clean, but it's okay. Still worth it.
And you get more for your money.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. Block cheese is cheaper.
Yeah, it is per ounce.
Mm-hmm. Pineapples and chicken fried rice? Yes. I like it. She don't.
What is that?
Pineapples in chicken fried rice.
No. You like pineapple on pizza too, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, that's just gross.
I'd put pineapple on that Spanish rice.
No, thank you.
I love your shredder. Pineapple on the side, please.
We've got canned pineapple. The work's already been done for us, so I'll take that for that one.
What's for dinner? We're having Spanish rice.
My favorite.
It's a casserole. Spanish rice, meat, and cheese. Mix it all together and throw it in the oven. Bake some cheese on top.
Yep, it's one of Kara's favorite meals.
I was behind in the video already. Reading comments because where I call. I was so lost. Couldn't figure it out. Thought I was losing my mind.
How were people commenting about the ex-husband thing?
We might have been losing our mind and it just made you go crazy.
No, I lost mine a long time ago. No shame. If you season your cast iron properly, you should be able to cook anything in it and nothing stick. Nothing. Nothing! Celeste, I got your message. I need to respond. I'm so sorry. Thank you. Yes, see, nothing is stuck to that. It's just a little bit of guts, but it's all, this will wipe out. Wipe out with paper towel. Never even know that it was there. More than I can say for stinky little pots that I have. Well, call me tomorrow, Celeste, if you have time tomorrow. We need to keep up with our weekly calls so we don't. We let 1 week go by, and we'll let 2 weeks go by.
She loves your dress.
No, thank you. I'm all about comfort.
I'm just going through withdrawals. I so missed you guys.
You can't pronounce the name.
Let's see. What is that? Fate? Baby? Baby Black Man?
I was hoping that
I'll
Richard's
call you
little-
tomorrow. Today was the day I wanted to throw the towel in at work.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's always frustrating. You're too cute to be a quitter. Just remember that. Only ugly people quit.
Wow.
I'm sure that's not true. It sounded good.
Don't know that you should be giving advice, period, ever to anyone.
I'm It's okay when friends are having a bad day. I'm like, at least you didn't make ugly kids. At least you're not ugly and
Ew.
having a bad day. I've
Your
said that
friends
over the
made ugly
years.
kids.
Stop it. We made it. Can't say that. She can hear me.
Mm. Have you talked to Jamie this week?
I have not. Jamie.
That was Dawn. Dawn
No,
was
she didn't call. And you never texted me her number. I messaged her and told her to give me a call, and she never did. She never even responded to it, so. I had a little bit of taco seasoning into my cheese, because normally, like, when we were buying shredded cheese, we would buy the Mexican blend or the taco blend. All that means is it has a little bit of taco seasoning in it, so I just made it myself. Added a little bit of taco seasoning on top.
Your brother said, hey.
Hi, Eric. My favorite big brother in the whole wide world. How are you? What are you doing? Eric's trying to be a cowboy. I am healing. Yeah, I've had kind of a setback today. I'm like, ugh, I don't feel all that great today. My tummy hurts, but doing okay. He looks like the cowboy. He's trying to live the cowboy life, but he's all smarticle and has to hold down like an engineering job and all that boring stuff. How's life treating you, bub? You know, we could do better and actually like talk on the phone and not just on YouTube. Just kidding. It goes both ways. I suck at that so bad. I'm so bad at putting in phone calls.
What happened, sister wife? I think she pulled something when she slipped.
But it only started hurting today. And I'll be honest, I was shaving the goods and it hurt. And I was like, oh, that's very sensitive. It hurts to the touch of the skin. I was like, that's not good. Blowing my cover. You're too smart for your own good. So I don't know what I did. I don't know if it's just the healing or what, but it definitely hurts to the touch just on the skin, on the surface. But it's lower than it was. I'm wondering if it's that stinking bladder mesh. And I just don't know that I should have had that done. I'm beginning to think that peeing myself when I sneeze is better.
She's still torn on the bladder mesh.
You too. Yeah, but it hasn't hurt. So I don't know. It just started today and it's lower than like that pulled muscle area. It's lower, but it hurts like touching the skin. So yes, Celeste needs a better day tomorrow.
What I said. Let me smack it. I smacked it, it'll feel better. Or I can stomp your toe and you'll forget about that.
When you're our age, there is no part of smacking it that makes anything feel better. I don't care what you're doing. That's all fun in your 20s, maybe your 30s, but no, not at our age. Smacking it means it's going to make it worse.
I stomp your toe.
Oh, thanks,
You'll
honey.
forget all about it.
I won't, but thank you for the
You will
thought.
temporarily.
For a moment.
If I can just relieve that pain for you for 2 seconds and then have you forget about it, it's all
Pretty
worth
sure
it.
that's going to bring you a lot more pleasure than it is me relief. Most men in my life have begged to smack me, stomp me, beat me upside the head, something. So let me show you guys what a seasoned cast iron pan should do after you cook in it. You should be able to just wipe it right out. And it just comes out clean. Look at that. You see that? Look, oh, let that light shine. Ooh, look at that. Ain't she party?
Oh my goodness, my eyes are so
Ain't
sad.
she party? That is what a good seasoned, without using soap. It should be shiny and it should be clean. Clean.
On the downhill slope.
When you do too much, it's such a progress back. I know. But I was feeling fine. But I probably did too much today. I've been feeling really good this last, a week or so? Like physically, I've been feeling good. So yeah, I've probably overdone it. But it's just one spot. So maybe that's not my fault. Maybe that's...
What time is it?
7:07. So. Oh, don't be sorry, Dawn. I didn't harass you. I am making dinner now. We are having Spanish rice. It's like a casserole with this Spanish rice and meat and cheese on top. And then I will make some garlic bread. It's a foreign object to the body, and your body can reject it and attack it. My son had trouble with it after hernia surgery. You know, that would be my luck. That would be my luck. Yes, Ashley, do not allow cast iron to go bad. Like, cast iron can be your best friend. It's all I cook with, and I love it. I can fry an egg in any of my pans, and it won't stick. Out of sight, out of mind. I know. But it's in a different location, and it's tender to the touch. So that made me wonder, like, is this the bladder mesh issue? I have not. I've kept my opinions about it kind of paused because I did not know, but from the very get-go, I've had concerns about the bladder mesh. But when the doctor offers to let you like sneeze and cough and laugh without peeing yourself, like, you know, my bladder's been through a lot. I've had 9 pregnancies, 5 full-term births. That's a big deal on my bladder. So when he offered that, I was like, oh, absolutely. And after you have a full hysterectomy, you are at like a much, much higher risk of bladder prolapse because there's nothing for it to sit on. I just assumed it was like a win-win, but I don't know. I don't have any regrets about the hysterectomy, but I am still on the fence about the bladder mesh. Not so sure that one's my my smartest move. I probably should have done more research on it before I had it done. But, you know, it's a pretty chaotic summer. Things happened pretty quick and fast, so I have held off on giving. You gonna help me out with the phone so that I can...
Well, you were standing over there, so I was doing something while
Okay.
you were there.
Okay.
But yes, I will.
Thank you. That's okay, babe. I got it.
There probably ain't even a single question since the last time you said something. We should make a video on seasoning cast iron. Yeah, we will. This winter, we plan on doing a couple of them because I've got some out in the shop that are rusted.
Well, that's like bringing it back to life, though, not just the
Oh.
regular.
Yeah, but it'll be a little
Yeah.
bit of everything.
Yep.
When are you girls getting together this winter? I'd love to join.
What?
Kim was asking when the girls are getting together this winter. She would love to join. Kim.
Do you live in Alaska, Kim? That would be amazing. It has been a pretty chaotic. Yeah. Too many kids playing soccer with a bladder. Yes. Little heifers. Hi, Melissa. I need to bring... Yes, Ashley. Do not let cast iron go to waste. That is such a shame. Cast iron is amazing. When I finally learned to listen to my husband and stop washing my cast iron with soap it was incredible at what a friend my cast iron became. But you can't use soap, and I know that that is such a hard concept for people. I was like, ew, that's gross, it's going to be dirty, but it's not. That's not how everything you cook in cast iron like naturally seasons it. So when you strip it of that seasoning, you strip it of its ability to not stick. So
No, I live in Michigan, but we'll fly out.
Oh. I now no longer fight my cast iron.
Kim, if you fly and just go ahead and just come on
Yeah,
here.
just come on here. Yes, we would love to do a meet and greet.
The good news is you can always bring cast iron back to life. Yes.
But you have to do better with how you season it. You cannot bring it back to life and continue to wash it. You have to do better by it.
Kim, pick me up on your way.
Cast iron will die if you put it in soap.
Shelly wants to come too.
Oh, Shelly, yes, my dear. That would be amazing. I look forward to when we can have people out here and do that. I'm hoping my big brother loves me enough to come visit me in Alaska.
He don't even love you enough to stay
He's
on here.
my
He's probably
only
already
brother.
gone.
He's my only brother.
He's probably already gone.
He's probably asleep.
He didn't love you enough to stay on the water.
He does.
Much
He
less
fell
come out
asleep.
here.
He fell asleep.
You still hear Eric?
If Eric ignores me, it's because he passed out falling asleep, trying to do too much.
It's my dream.
Eric is almost, well,
Oh,
he's like
Eric is
13
at home.
years older than me, and he raised me. He is.
Eric said they are coming here.
He was like my father growing up. He was an amazing big brother.
See, Eric, I got total faith in you. I tried to tell her, she just has no faith.
You heard total opposite from that.
I was like, quit harassing him. He'll come.
Eric taught me how to punch the boys, and then I did, and then I got in trouble, and Eric high-fived me when nobody was looking.
So, Shelly's starting to pack already.
All right, Shelly. Get that thong ready, girlfriend. It's getting warm out.
Yeah.
Eric got all the book smarts, and I got all the street smarts. So when Eric and I are together, people never believe that we are brother and sister. We are nothing alike, but we've grown to appreciate that as we've gotten older.
Yeah, and she knocked out the harassing boy's front tooth.
Eric and I kept each other alive our childhood. We did not. We survived being children of our parents.
Not all the street smarts.
All right, you might be able to hold your own a little bit. But I didn't get a lick of book smarts, so. I have to fake my way through it because I didn't get none of it. Eric came and visited us in Colorado right before we moved to Alaska. And that was the first time we had seen each other in,
Since we were dating.
yeah, it
Because
was
that's the
before
only
we got
second time
married.
I'd ever met
Yeah,
him.
it was before Richard and I got married because he moved before we got married, but he did meet Richard. But it was right before we got married. So, 12, 13 years. But we do better at keeping in touch than we used to. How many pieces of this card do you want, honey? It's really thick. You want two?
Yeah.
I'll make her one. Siblings are something to be valued. I've tried very hard with my kids to make them appreciate their siblings. Maybe 10 minutes. I'm about to put the bread in. Why?
I was going to fix some, but I ain't going to.
I mean, well, it's got to come out. You got at least 15. I can stretch it out a little
That's
bit.
okay. I'll wait.
But you won't do it after.
Probably not.
He's got stuff stuff to
I was
make
gonna-
margaritas.
I was going to make a margarita, but I don't like alcohol with my food at all.
He won't drink a glass of wine. He won't have anything. If he is eating food, he cannot have any alcohol at all.
Other than wings with a half a Corona.
And it has to be like a while afterwards for him to be able to.
Yeah, she made me a drink the other night, and I took like one sip, and then we ate dinner. Yeah, and then it was probably, I don't know,
2 hours?
probably at least 2 hours
Yeah.
before I'd eat it. I just
It ruined
don't
the
like
taste
it.
in his mouth. Kira loves her garlic toast, but she likes it made a certain way. It's got to be mixed in before it's put on her bread, or she doesn't like it as much. You can't just put like butter and then seasonings on it. You've got to mix the butter and seasonings up and make it like a paste on.
Last time I saw Richard, it's when you picked up the piano. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was right before we got married. Because we only met in, like, we met and got married in 4 months. So you had to have moved, like, right before we got married. That's not fun. Which is crazy. I've been married 3 times, and my brother has missed every wedding. I was definitely the wild card of the family.
Siblings are interesting for sure. I'm the 7th out of 8.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Richard's the 11 out of 11. The first of 3. And 1 of 13.
And 1 of 1. Figure that out.
Yeah.
How did your sandwich bread turn out? It turned out
It's
Okay,
really,
the flavor
really good.
was amazing.
But I did not cook it long enough because the instructions did not say to. I did not test it internally on the thermometer before I took it out, so it wasn't quite done all the way.
My brother passed away a few years ago.
So
Sorry, Celeste.
I have 2 older half sisters. Eric and I share, biologically, we share the same mother and we have different dads. My dad adopted him, but he was a dirtbag. So we are half brother and sister, but we were raised together. So I have 2 half older sisters. We were not raised together and we have no relationship. I've met them 2 or 3 times in my lifetime, and the oldest one is really nice, but she's very much wrapped up in her sister. You know, they were raised together. They've got the same mother and father. Nice people, just not anybody I've ever had a relationship with. Eric and I, on the other hand, grew up together and kept each other alive. So we've always maintained a pretty strong bond. Even though there's a huge age difference. And then the older you get, the less age difference matters. But I've always tried teaching my kids that their siblings were a gift. Hopefully one day they'll realize that.
I have 1 sister and have 2 brothers who are chosen family.
Now, we've got a lot of family that we have created and made, and
Thought
we are
about
grateful
writing a
for them.
book about the 9 of us and our crazy childhood. I could probably do that.
Yep. Richard was adopted by his paternal grandparents. His parents were married, but his mom was very, very young when they had him. She got hooked on drugs. I don't know how sensitive YouTube is. And she left when he was a newborn, and his dad called his mom and said, or his mother, and said he cries too much. Either you take him or I'm giving him away.
I don't need these.
So his paternal grandparents took him at 6 weeks old,
Sorry.
and they adopted him legally when he was a few years old. So they had 9 children biologically, and then adopted 2 grandchildren. His older sister Lisa, and then him. So he's the youngest of their 11. But he's the oldest of his biological parents. His dad went on to remarry and have 2 other children, so that's where he's the oldest of 3. His biological mother never remarried, never had any other children. So he's one of one, the oldest of 3, the youngest of 11
and 1 of 13.
and 1 of 13. So his aunts and uncles are his brothers and sisters. His nieces and nephews are his cousins. And he was the youngest by a lot. So his siblings are old enough to be his parents because obviously, one of his siblings is his parent.
Yeah. Oh, you don't even know, Shelley.
Oh,
I could
Shelley.
definitely write a book.
Listen, we belong on Lifetime, Jerry Springer, Maury.
What are you doing, Rob? Oh.
People don't believe most of our history because it's so crazy that they're like, there's no way that's possible. It's like, oh, but it is. We survived that. I don't ever say that I lived. I survived. I survived my first 2 marriages. I survived my childhood. But it's all good.
I just had a good childhood and I was a perfect child.
He was the favorite, not perfect.
I was perfect.
Oh my goodness.
Still am.
Just got so thick in here.
Eric's leaving. He's going to bed.
I love you, Bubba.
You're both thriving now and living free on your terms.
Yes.
Variance, right? Yes.
Made it all.
Took a
worth
lot to
it.
get there, though.
Yeah, we made a lot of sacrifices to be here. I mean, a lot of temporary living situations. We sacrificed relationships with people that didn't understand why we were doing this and being away from our kids and stuff. But they moved away from us first. So.
I like to think that too, Richard. Yeah. A lot of people like to think it's Shelley, but I really am.
What?
Perfect. I was a perfect child.
Oh my goodness. That's why you got beat every day. Even at school, the principal would call. This is back when you got spanking at school. The principal would make his morning announcements and then go ahead and call his regulars to his office for whoopings because he knew that even if they hadn't done anything yet, they were going to.
Yep.
In fact, when our kids went to the school that Richard went to, it was the assistant principal at his high school became the principal of the middle school in Williamston. We enrolled our kids there. They went to the same school that he went to. And when we went for open house, the principal who had been his assistant principal, he's like, did you go here? He's like, yeah. And he's like, I don't recognize your face. Turn around. So Richard turned around. He looked at his butt and he's like, I remember you, because he whooped him so many stinking times. He remembered him by the way that he walked. What'd you guys call him? Lightbulb? Mr. Lightbulb?
No, that wasn't him.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't. It was Mr. Atkins.
Oh, I thought, okay, Mr. Lightbulb must have been the
That
assistant.
was the one that was there before.
Okay. Yeah, so he was recognized because of how many whoopings he got.
Yeah, there was about 5 of us every day. They would call and just be like, all right, and my regulars, come on down. And we would go in every single morning,
Yeah.
get 2 licks, That way we was covered for whatever we did yesterday or was going to do that day.
And they always deserved it. The stuff they got into. Still can't believe he survived.
Oh my goodness. It's funny, I got suspended because me and my cousin, I had a 76 Camaro, and this thing was nice, and everybody knew it. And me and my cousin had a little too much to drink one evening, so we went down to the school and was doing donuts on the football field.
Bunch of retards.
And then we took off and tried to go up the hill, and the hill was a little steeper than I thought, and it ripped the front spoiler out from under my Camaro. This was on a Sunday evening. I didn't realize it had ripped it off, and then
got called to the principal's
I got
office
called to the
Monday morning.
principal office Monday morning, and he said, "So you were out on my football field doing donuts?" I was like, "No. Why would you say that?" And he pointed over to the corner, and there was my front spoiler of my car, busted in pieces, laying in the corner. So, yeah, got in a little bit of trouble for that.
When we opened our restaurant, we did our family restaurant in his hometown. So most of our customers were ex-girlfriends, or oh, I almost married her. Oh, I made out with her in the 3rd grade.
One paddling, Celeste, really? One in the 7th grade?
Oh, you got a paddling? I know. I don't believe that.
I don't know.
Mm.
Okay, the first day of
No.
school, he would call his regulars up
Okay,
from
you
the
came
year
from
previous.
a long line of bellboys, though, so he knew who you came from. Your teachers were afraid of you because of your older brothers.
And we would get paddlings on the last day of school, and he would give us an extra one to last us until the first day of school the next year.
And they deserved it. All the fighting they did.
We stayed in a little bit of trouble, but that don't mean I wasn't perfect. I was perfect at getting in trouble.
You were perfect as something. He's always just been so darn cute, he gets away with it.
Didn't used to be like that.
I don't know how much trouble you get away with just because you're cute.
You fine. They go big. Perfectly naughty. Yes. My dad was a teacher, and the principal called him to the office when I got in trouble once.
Oh no. Who's that?
Sherry.
Oh, Sherry. That would be
Is
awful.
that Spanish?
It is.
Eh. I want to eat the whole thing right now.
Okay, I'm gonna save a bite for Dad now.
Never. Oh, no. I just ate it.
Oven still on?
It is because there's garlic toasted.
Okay.
My eyes
Mm,
Sorry. It's from the oil.
well,
Skedaddle.
burn.
Scooch, skedaddle.
dinner is about ready.
Seriously.
We're gonna hop off here and eat and finish all of our stuff for the night.
Yeah. Tried to get a head start on stuff so I wasn't doing everything tomorrow for the weekend.
Ashley broke a boy's nose in the 8th grade because he slapped her butt.
You go, girl. That's what I'm talking about.
Wait a minute. I got my nose broken. No, I'm just kidding.
What school was that?
Was that you? You're the one that done that, Ashley.
I'll never forget, we coached one of our daughter's softball teams, and one of the moms on there was a woman he almost married in high school. and her kid was playing on our softball team. And she thought it was
Is that mine?
uncomfortable, and I was like, why? You guys are kids. I don't care.
Is that mine?
Or how about the woman that came in and was talking all sorts of nonsense about you and how she didn't realize I was his wife. And I'm like huge pregnant with Kira. She did not realize that I was married to him. She comes in and she's just like, oh my gosh, I went to school with Richard, and like we almost did it one year, but we didn't. And she brought in her yearbook, and there was like this whole love letter from Richard to her. Maybe next summer we can like
No,
hook
it
up.
was my yearbook.
It was yours,
It's in it.
okay.
I
still
actually
have it.
saw the yearbook
That's right,
2
you
days
took it.
ago. It's out there in
Yes.
the shop.
So she's telling me all this juice and stuff, and then we have this like 30-minute conversation, and she's just giving me all the details. Richard comes in, walks over, and gives me a kiss. He's like, hey, babe, and walks by, and she went, you're his wife? And I was like, yeah. Why didn't you tell me? And I was like, because this is way too good to tell you and make you stop. She's like, I am so sorry. I mean, no disrespect. And I was like, honey, you were in school. It is okay. And she's like, did I upset you? Please don't hate me. She was so worried. And I thought it was absolutely hilarious. We ended up becoming very good friends. Our kids were good friends. Tess Davis. She was a hoot. And then I brought Richard's yearbook in because it had her letter in there to him saying how they had only made it to first base, and she wanted to make it to at least third base next summer. It was hilarious. It was so funny.
And this is what Spanish rice looks like.
I had it sitting on the
Cheese,
counter, and she
nice.
came in a couple of weeks later, and we read through it, and she was so mortified. I was like, I think it's hilarious. So we enjoyed the. You just made it. Clean that up.
All right. Well, y'all have a good night.
It's not
We're gonna hop off here
toasty.
so we can eat.
Dinner is done.
We will see y'all later.
Adios.
Celeste, I love you. Call me tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.